Hi guys, my name's Seth Conley and I'm an admissions counselor here at South Dakota State University. And I'm here with 5 current students here at SDSU who are going to talk a little bit about their transition to SDSU and some of the things that really made them successful here as an incoming freshman. Thanks so much for tuning in to our Facebook Live event tonight. I've got some questions for them, but we really want to hear from you guys. So tune in, comment some of your questions, we'll be answering them throughout the night. And we're going to get started here and talk a little bit about some of the things that have made you guys successful. And if you guys want to go around and introduce yourself, maybe say your name, year in school, and what major and where you're from.
So I'm Adrian. People call me AD. So I'm a junior mechanical engineer, and I'm from Kandy, Sri Lanka. So for the people who don't know where Sri Lanka is like a small island close to India. So. Yep.
I'm Lalindre. Everyone calls me Lily. I'm a chemistry major and I'm a junior here at SDSU, and I'm from Sri Lanka too.
Hi, my name is Haley Kurtenbach. I am a senior advertising major from Omaha, Nebraska.
Hi folks, my name is Scott Simons. I'm a senior economics major from Sioux Falls.
Hey guys, my name is Lane Spears. I'm a senior agricultural communications major and I originally grew up in Spearfish, South Dakota.
Awesome. We got a good group. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, guys. Well, we've got a whole list of questions, but probably starting off with the most important question. What is your favorite flavor of SDSU ice cream here on campus?
I would have to say Berry Berry, named after our favorite President Dunn.
Hands down, cookies and cream.
Cookies and cream.
I'll go with cookies and cream too, since I eat that like 6 times a week, so probably go with that. So, yep.
It's a classic.
Yep, it's classic. It's a classic. Yep.
Yeah, I also really like the cookies and cream, but I also like the mint chocolate chip. It's one of my favorites too.
Chocolate chip is my personal favorite. You can never have too much chocolate. So.
That's very true. I would agree. I would agree with that. Well, cool. Well, yes, lots of cool things on campus, our dairy bar being one of them. Any of you guys know what kind of ice cream SDSU invented?
Cookies and cream.
Cookies and cream, yes. It's a fan favorite. Well, if you guys can think back a couple years during your college search transition as you were kind of looking around at a lot of different schools, what were some things that really made SDSU stick out to you? Some things that you really liked about campus and things that really swayed your decision?
So for me, it was like the people here. So I knew a lot of like people here, like a lot from the international like community and also like from the domestic like community. So I wanted to be somewhere which will be my second home, where I won't miss home. So I mean, like knowing people, that was like a big thing for me personally. So that was like the biggest thing that made me choose SDSU out of all. Yep.
Having some familiar faces on campus?
Exactly.
Cool.
So I was looking for a place where I can have a lot of American interactions, and also I was getting very high recommendations about this school from the people who are already studying here.
Yes, I have a lot of my family are alumni, and I heard great recommendations from them. It just kind of was a no-brainer to attend SDSU. I also was really looking to get involved. I know they promote student involvement very positively on campus, so just the ability to get out and network with fellow students, it struck me as a great university.
Yeah. I guess I would personally echo all those comments as well, but for a big selling factor for me was the academic support that's available on campus. And so I personally came in undecided, and so when I was searching for a university, when I did decide my major, I wanted to be able to have that academic support. And here at State we have what's called supplemental instruction tutoring programs. We also have the Writing Center and then the Math Help Center as well, and a variety of other opportunities for you to really get to know your professors and get that academic help. So that was a big selling factor for me.
Yeah, the biggest thing for me was really the environment and the people that are here. You know, we're very lucky at SDSU to have a community that has, you know, a Division I feel in our academics and in our athletics, all of those really great things that make college a wonderful place to be. But also at the same time, it kind of has that small hometown vibe where everybody is very welcoming. Everybody seems very familiar to you, even with the campus size that we have. So you kind of get the best of both worlds that way, and it was always a really big selling point for me for SDSU.
Well, cool. A lot of different reasons, it sounds like, why you guys chose SDSU. Do you guys have any favorite places on campus, favorite places to hang out, to watch sporting events, to study? What are some of your favorite areas of campus?
I would say I love spending time in the student engagement office. It's kind of the hub of student activity. We have the Greek life office, we have University Program Council, Students Association, kind of all in one place. It's very inviting. You can go in there and network with your fellow students. So I think it's a great place to study and meet new people.
Cool.
So for me, it's the upstairs of the student union because it has couches, you can study, you can fall asleep and sleep there if you're very tired from studying the night before. Yeah.
Cool.
For me, yep, it's probably the union, of course, especially like during the winter with the fireplaces and all that. It's a cozy and really comfortable place to like study. And the next will be Daktronics. Daktronics, since I'm like engineering, I'm a student, so that's like a great place. It has a lot of technology. We could use the projectors, and we have like different study rooms for engineers to group study. So that's a great place to study with your buddies.
Sure. Awesome.
Yep.
So it sounds like quite a few study spots on campus. How about any athletic facilities on campus that you really enjoy going to? Maybe a football stadium, different areas like that?
Yeah, a personal favorite for me would actually be our wellness center, and so students pay a fee that allows them full access to our wellness center. And I'm heavily involved in intramurals, and so it's just a fun opportunity to stay involved in sports and athletics for me personally, but also not play at the Division I competition level. And so the wellness center is great. It's got a pool, rock climbing wall, free weights, our track, and then 3 basketball courts as well. And so that's been a real fun place for me and my friends to get together.
And for me, I've loved all sides of athletics. So Dana J. Dykehouse to have the football facilities that we have, being able to have close to 20,000 screaming fans in there, the Pride of the Dakota's marching band. That's something that I really love. Game day, that environment, and also Frost Arena as we're getting ready for basketball season, kind of gearing up here. Just any time that you can be, with your fellow students cheering on the Jackrabbits to a win. That's one of my favorite places to be.
For sure. Really exciting game day atmosphere, that's for sure. Well, cool. So it sounds like you guys have quite a few different places on campus that you enjoy hanging out, studying, kind of relaxing. If you're thinking back a couple years, back to that college search transition, what were some things that maybe were a little bit of a challenge your first year here on campus? And with those challenges, what were some things that you really had to rely on here on campus to overcome? Different services on campus, different student groups, activities?
So me being an international student, it was a big cultural shock right here in SDSU. Since I'm a person from like Sri Lanka, where it's warm all the time, and here it's not that cold, but it's different from home. So the people here, mainly, they are like super friendly, and that was like one of like the winning points for me in like SDSU and like Brookings as a whole, and that helped me like overcome my cultural shock. And then services like the International like Relations Council, where I met other people from other countries and I could share my views, and they have been in the same spot as me, so we could relate. And also like the domestic students, they're super friendly. I actually didn't know that the domestic students can be this like friendly, and they are like super outgoing. So that was a big winning point for me, and that's how I overcame my difficulties here in SDSU. Yep. Friendly faces. A lot of friendly faces. Yep.
Yeah. Well, cool.
So that was like the same thing I was going to say. So I would hand the mic over to Haley. Sure.
So definitely when you transition from high school to college, there's an increase in workload. So I definitely utilize the Winter Student Success Center and their tutoring services, which are free for students, which is a wonderful resource. We also have first-year advisors that are really helpful, kind of figuring out the college course load and your major even. I came in undecided. That was quite a stress for me at the time, but they really helped me find my way, and I've now found my passion through my major. Another helpful, I guess, let's see, a stress I had was, how do I get involved? I wasn't quite certain how to meet new people and reach out, but luckily South Dakota State is a very engaged campus, and there's an event you can go to every day of the week if you'd like. So meeting new people was easy because I could go to events and student organization meetings whenever I would like. So,
You guys talk about maybe some of the things on the weekends that there are to do on campus, maybe in the residence halls, across campus, athletics.
Yeah, we have a group at South Dakota State called Weekend Stuff, and so nearly every weekend they provide events for students to attend where they can get out of the residence halls and go and meet new people. Oftentimes those can be athletic events where there's football, basketball games, but oftentimes they'll have fun events like bingo, open mic nights, all sorts of fun activities going on every single weekend, and so plenty to do on campus.
Yeah, and additionally, inside your residence halls as well, you'll have a community assistant who's somebody who is typically an upperclassman, who's somebody who's living there with you, and they're really great about making sure that you know about that programming, but then also additionally having programming for you, so things to do kind of with your hall as a collective group on the weekends, whether it's a Friday night movie night or whether it's something you do for arts and crafts, for instance. Maybe some halls really enjoy doing that, I know. There's always something going on, always something happening over the weekends, so if you want to, you never have to be bored at SDSU. There's always something going on.
Sure, for sure. Never a dull moment, that's for sure.
Never a dull moment.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that, really here on campus, we have a lot of traditions here at SDSU. School spirit traditions, athletic traditions. What are some of your guys' favorite traditions and things that you've gotten involved with in the past and things that you're hoping to get involved in the next coming years?
Well, I guess I serve as a member of the Hobo Day Committee. So the Hobo Day is our homecoming celebration here at South Dakota State. And it's an opportunity to bring alums back to campus, but also really engage the students. And so throughout the week, we have events for Hobo Week. So Monday, Rally at the Rails. It's a pep rally downtown. Tuesday, we have Bum a Meal, which is where students go into the community and get a home-cooked meal. We also have a bum fire that night as well. So basically just a large bonfire for students to come back and share their experience. Wednesday, we have Hobo Olympics, which are just Olympic-type events. And so really throughout the entire week, there are events going on. And then Friday leads up to the parade and then the home football game. So that's my personal favorite tradition here.
we all love Hobo Day. I would say one of my favorite traditions is Capers, which is a student variety show that's held every January. It includes singing and acting and dancing, and any student from any major can be involved, which I think is really exciting. Another way to meet new students that you wouldn't necessarily meet in your classes. I was a theater student in high school, and it's a way for me to continue my passion into college.
So for me, it's Hobo Day too. I remember the first time I saw the Hobo Day week, I was clicking photos everywhere because I was so amused by seeing people wearing as hobos and celebrating it. It's a really nice experience for me. I really love it.
Obviously, yep, it's Hobo Day, and also I don't know if this is it is like tradition, the moving day. That's a really good experience where you help out incoming freshmen and to move into their rooms, and that's like the university and CAs, and there's like hundreds of volunteers who help out incoming freshmen to move in and make SDSU their home. So that's one of the traditions that I personally like. So, yep.
For sure. I know that's a huge part of your first year, for sure.
Huge part.
Yeah. Making sure that residence hall has everything you need, getting moved in. As you mentioned, we have tons of volunteers here on campus, right around 700 volunteers that really help out across campus. As a part of our move-in weekend activities, we have this thing called Campus Community Fall Festival. Scott, can you talk a little bit about that fall festival and maybe some of the things that students can expect during that move-in weekend?
Yeah, during move-in weekend, there's plenty of events going on, and this fall festival is really an opportunity for students to see what types of clubs and organizations are available for students here at South Dakota State. We have over 220 clubs and organizations for ways and students to get involved, and so during this festival, they all line up in our student union, and then students can walk through, see what they like, what they don't like, and get a lot of free gifts and food, and so it's just a great time to really start that transition by getting involved on campus, and so it really helps students enjoy that move-in weekend.
There to sign up for the skydiving club.
Yes, they can.
Yes, for sure.
Yes, and if you don't see a club or organization that necessarily fits your needs, you and your friends can start one. It takes about 7 students and an advisor. So.
Cool. Well, yeah, that's definitely a huge piece of the move-in weekend of your transition, your freshman year. Another huge piece would be a lot of the dining options and the food on campus. I know a lot of students are looking for kind of that good comfort food, healthy options across campus. Can you guys talk a little bit about some of your favorite restaurants and maybe places that you like to go, healthy options, and a lot of the different food options here on campus?
So on campus, so I'm in Young Hall. So Lawson Commons, which is situated like right next to, like right in between Young and Benoist. That's my favorite spot, and it's like super close. So it's within the residence halls, and you have a lot of healthy options in Lawson Commons. They opened up a new salad bar, which is really exciting. I really love it. I love salad, and also they have a great chef in Lawson Commons. So some great food, and in the Union, we have several options from Panda, Chick-fil-A, Extreme Pita, Bendel. Bendel is a good one, really good one, and decent dose noodles. So like whatever options, like whatever you like, even if you're like international or domestic, you have the range of like food that you can eat. So it's not like a repetitive, like you don't eat the same food every day. It's like a whole range of food that you can enjoy. So, yep, a lot of different options. So,
Sure.
Yep.
Sure.
So I'd say, as Adrian said, if you want to eat healthy, it's definitely Lawson Commons. But my favorite is Einstein's and Chick-fil-A, because too healthy is not appealing to me. So I love Einstein's and Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I would say I'm a huge soup fanatic, especially this time of year when it's getting a little chilly outside. I will say that campus dining now offers dining tours. So if you have any dietary restrictions or just you're looking for healthy dishes, they will take you around to the different dining locations and kind of educate you on your options.
I know obviously coffee plays a huge role here in college. Are there many coffee shops across campus? Any favorite coffee shops that you guys enjoy going to?
Yeah, I guess for me personally, I really enjoy, there's coffee shops all over the place. So my favorite, though, are the Java Cities that are located around in some of our different academic halls as well. So in one of our main lecture halls in Wagner and Rotunda, there's a Java City. So if you have classes going on there and you want to run over and grab a cup of coffee in between your lectures, it's a really, really great place to be able to do that. Even if you want something, a pick-me-up like a bagel or something like that, too, you can run over and grab something. So they're really conveniently placed all across campus. So it's not like there's just one central coffee place. I feel like everywhere you go, there's somewhere where you can pick up a coffee. So yeah, I like that.
And I know there's quite a few dining places here on campus, coffee shops, places to hang out. What are some of your guys' favorite places here in the Brookings community as far as things to do outdoors, indoors, places to hang out? What are some of your favorites?
I guess for me personally, Brookings is very friendly when it comes to the outdoor area, and so we have what's called the Dakota Nature Park here in town, which is an opportunity for students to go hike. There are ponds, all sorts of fun areas to fish and hike, even just around the Brookings area too, a lot of state parks, and so just being outdoors is really fun for me.
I guess personally, I really love karaoke, and so there's tons of different places that you can go sing karaoke on Wednesday nights, on Friday nights, on Saturday. I mean, there's always a group of people who's excited and ready to go sing some karaoke somewhere in the Brookings community, so I always really enjoy that.
Are you going to demonstrate for us tonight?
Probably not tonight. Okay. I'm going to put you through that.
Another time.
Come to SDSU and we'll talk about it.
There you go.
I really like, we have a bowling alley. Every Tuesday there's $5 movies at the local theater. Just a whole range of things downtown. I really like the antique stores, if you're into that. really great shopping. So it's a really beautiful main street, and I'm glad we have such a wonderful community.
Sure.
For me, it's the Brookings Regional Humane Society because I can pet animals whenever I can, and it's very relieving for your stress. It's very good. So yeah.
Cool.
For me, it's the Humane Society, which is outside of Brookings. It's a good place like to volunteer if you want to volunteer and help out the Brookings community in whatever way you can. And other thing is downtown Brookings is very vibrant, and during the day there's like coffee shops and people there talking, and you could actually there's like you could like for events if you want to buy something, you can go to Party Depot. That's a go-to spot for me for events. So that, and there's a lot of great places to buy Jackrabbit gear there too. So downtown Brookings is perfect. Yep.
Cool. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of cool places to hang out outside, kind of downtown coffee shops, different places to hang out. And kind of looking at, the town of Brookings, looking at the size of campus, I think it's pretty cool. A couple of years ago, Brookings was actually rated the safest college town in America. And so that's something that I think we see while we're on campus. But can you guys talk a little bit about some of the different safety aspects on campus here within town that really make students feel safe during their time as a student?
Yeah, so I guess I'll start off there. Like you said, SDSU and the Brookings community has been rated as one of the safest in the country. And you can definitely feel that here as a student. There's so many different ways in which our community and the amenities that we have make this place so welcoming and make you feel so safe. But I'll just touch on one of the things that I think a lot of people really appreciate is around our campus we have blue boxes. And these are areas and places where if a student does ever feel uncomfortable, they're able to immediately go to one of these response boxes and be in direct contact with our University Police Department. And so we actually have a police department here on campus who is here to make sure that we feel safe, to make sure that our time here at SDSU is everything that we want. And I think that especially for my parents too, they really appreciated that aspect, that there was that group of University Police Department here that could respond to my needs and my concerns on campus. So that definitely has been a big part of me feeling safe here.
Yeah, we also do have a Guardian app too, which students can download onto their phones. And that Guardian app allows you to send a message to your friend and basically say, hey, I'm heading out. If I don't get back in a certain amount of time, it'll let the friend know, and then the friend can really reach out to you. And so it's just a way to really always have a buddy with you, keep you safe at night, during the day even too, but just a mobile app as well.
Awesome.
So like the campus in whole is like very well like lit up, and people could safely walk, and you see UPD and of course the Brookings police department. They'll be like driving around, and you could stop them at any time, and if you feel unsafe, they will escort you to any place that you want. So I think that's really, really cool. So SDSU is like a very, very like safe campus, and like we have had like less, like we don't have like, it's like the police, they do their job like really good, and they're like super friendly, and like you don't have to be like scared of them, and they're like really good friends. I have one of my friends working there, so it's a really good spot. Yep.
And it is kind of cool. I know they do a lot of outreach events in the residence halls and connecting with students. So kind of cool to have them as a resource here on campus. So yeah, safety plays a huge aspect, a huge, very important aspect on campus. Switching gears just a little bit, kind of looking at some of the academics on campus. I know we've talked about some of the fun spots, some of the places to hang out. What's been your guys' favorite academic course? And kind of in addition to that, why was that your favorite academic course? Was it the professor, kind of what you were learning? What were some important aspects there?
So I'll go for it. So for me, it's been production and fabrication in the new AME building, Architecture, Math and Engineering building that opened recently. And we have a production lab that we use to make mugs or anything out of like wax blocks using 3D printers, which is really cool. Yep, so that's my favorite course because I could build absolutely anything using a 3D printer. So that's totally fun. Yep.
Sounds very hands-on.
Yep.
Cool.
Very hands-on.
Cool.
Yeah, South Dakota State University is the land-grant institution of the state, and so research is a heavy focus for us. And so for me, I've gotten to do a lot of neat research through my investments course in our e-trading lab. So it's provided us an opportunity to use Bloomberg terminals, which are basically supercomputers that can look up a lot of information and research about a company, and then we can predict or do our best to decide if this is a good or bad investment. And so that's been really cool to be in our trading lab and get that hands-on experience.
Experience then.
Yeah, I guess for me, one of my favorite courses was actually with Dr. Grubbs, and it was an Introduction to Meat Science course. And that course for me, I just really, really enjoyed because it gave you a better idea of the production side of the meat industry, so where the steaks that you see at Hy-Vee or at Walmart are coming from. But then also, you learn about all of the science behind that, and so those muscle groups. And then in addition to that, the labs, you oftentimes get to like actually cook and grill up the steaks. So it's always I really enjoyed that class because I came to class and got to eat steaks. So it was always a fun experience there, and I learned I learned a lot. I learned a ton, so really, really appreciated that course.
Yeah, no complaints there.
Yeah.
Eating steak every class.
So for me, it's analytical chemistry course. It has math, so it's not as boring as other chemistry courses. And our lab is pretty hands-on too, because we get a sample and we analyze for stuff inside the sample, and we group them into categories. And so yeah, that's very cool.
I would say my favorite course so far has been Media Buying and Planning with Dr. Lucchese. We actually had the opportunity to partner with a client, a business in Sioux Falls, and create a media plan for the rollout of their new restaurant. So really having that real-world experience is really important. It taught me a lot about how to communicate with an actual client and start networking with professionals in the area.
Oh, cool. So you guys have a lot of different kinds of favorite classes. All these classes sound really hands-on, which is awesome. Kind of nice to learn being immersed into the subject. As far as different places to study, we talked a little bit about that. What about inside the residence halls? Are there different options to study in the residence halls, different resources to take advantage of, maybe with your community assistants, different things like that?
Yeah, I guess I can touch on that one. I'm involved with the admissions ambassador, so I get to show people around campus and give them an idea of what our residence halls look like. And one of the places that we would stop is Ben Rifle. And for instance, in Ben Rifle and in many of our residence halls, we have individual study rooms. And we always tell people on tour that those study rooms are actually pretty much soundproof. So even if there are other activities going on in your hall with your, community assistant or people watching a football game in the lobby, whatever it might be, there is a space for you to be able to study in the peace and quiet to make sure that your academics can always be a priority at SDSU.
We do also have what are called living learning communities, and so that's an opportunity for you to live next to people of your similar major. And so it really just helps that transition into college. Students are able to kind of have a study buddy or a familiar face in class, and so it's really a welcoming area for you to study and get some work done.
Well, awesome. Yeah, a lot of different places to study across campus and in the residence halls as well. So some of the things, that we've talked about, definitely a lot of advice for incoming freshmen, places to study, student activities, groups to hang out at. What are some things that you would say would be kind of your pieces of information that you'd give to students as far as what they can use to be successful here on campus their first year? So parting words of wisdom.
I would say, looking back on my young self, don't be afraid to get involved, to reach out, to go to a new club that you may be interested. You don't know that you're not interested in it until you try it. I would say consider everything just a new experience, a new chance to grow.
My suggestion would be to take advantage of the academic support available at South Dakota State University. Get to know your professors. Our professors have office hours, and so it's just a time where they're designated to be in their office, and that was a great opportunity for me to get to know my professors and really help that transition of the academic course load.
I would say make connections in any way possible, in every way possible. With the students that are here, those friends that you can have, lifelong down the road, people who maybe one day will be in your wedding, all the way up to the professors that are here to help you research, to help you gain a better education, and the industry professionals in Brookings and the surrounding community. In every way possible, make those connections, meet those people. Don't be afraid to walk up and shake somebody's hand and say hello and introduce yourself, because that can make all the difference later on down the road.
Yeah, awesome.
So the advice that's coming out from me is for all the international students who are planning to come to SDSU. As an international student, you're going to struggle your first semester. Like, I'm not going to scare you or anything, but you are going to struggle because you're transitioning, you're having homesick, you're having culture shocks and every kind of thing. So don't have too much of big plans like, okay, so I'm going to get this done, I'm going to get this done, because if you don't get that done as like in the timeline you plan to, you're going to get very upset and then you're going to start blaming yourself, which is not good at all. It's coming from personal experience. So I would say that if you feel like you're struggling, get the support from the campus, because the faculty here is very, very friendly. They won't judge you. They will really help you. You can go to, there are so many places on campus that you can go to, like counseling center in the wellness center if you feel like you are like getting depressed. And then, of course, the Winter Road Success Center to find tutors to help you with the struggling classes. Yeah.
Lots of different areas I think that we can find resources on campus as far as that transition goes, because I know a lot of times the workload from high school does double a little bit, and that's why you talked about the Winter Road Student Success Center, sometimes supplemental instruction, a lot of additional resources there. But thank you guys so much for coming tonight. It's been really cool. We do have one question here, just popped up. Did any of you guys have bad roommate experiences? And if so, what were some of the things that really helped you be successful in the residence halls?
So personally, for me, I had an awesome roommate. His name was Alex, so he was really good. He was my first domestic friend here, so he's a really cool guy. But if you do, there's always help like in your like residence halls as CA. I know it because I've been like my residents have brought up this issue like a lot, but there are like resources which will help you through all of these difficulties. So don't worry. That's all I gotta say. Just don't worry. Just rely on your CA and your RHD, and everything will be good.
Kind of when you're looking at that whole roommate search process and the housing, do you get a chance to kind of pick your roommates, or do you get a chance to pick your halls on campus, or what would be kind of the pieces of that as a high school senior?
Yeah, we do have a housing application that students can go through, and so you can select up to your top 5 options, and our staff at the Residential Life will do their best to get you in one of those. But if it doesn't work out, there is a grace period where students can switch residence halls, but you can also switch roommates if something does end up not going as well as you hoped. All of our residence halls actually have their students sign a roommate agreement at the beginning of the year, the beginning of the semester, and so you can really map out just some policies and rules that you guys want to have between one another.
Those roommate issues, sometimes become, if you guys just aren't getting along or are incompatible, what are some of the options that students have as far as the next steps?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So your first step would be you can talk to your community assistant. So the community assistant is there to assist you in all things pertaining to residential life and to make your transition easier. And so if you do come across a situation where you feel for whatever reason uncomfortable, you can talk to your community assistant, and they will help you with all of the necessary processes to either, work that out with your roommate, and so to look through those avenues. But then ultimately and eventually, if you do choose that you want to look for a different option in housing, they're very, very welcoming and open and helpful in helping you make that transition. I know from experience from friends and roommates that I have now who went through that process that it was an incredibly quick process. It was a process that was not a lot of hassle, and all throughout that time, the community assistants, the residential life, were all very, very accommodating and helpful.
Are there any sorts of like roommate agreements or anything that you guys agree upon at the beginning of your process when you're moving into the residence halls with your roommates?
Yes, we do. There's a roommate agreement, as you told. So that basically is like a document where you and your roommate and your CA sit down and talk about, and there's like several questions, and you get to choose like what time you guys sleep, or about the laundry, or like whether you lock the room or not. So like basic questions, but yet like very important. Sure. So through the document, most of like the problems between roommates get like resolved, and it's like easy and like very like important process that we take seriously in the resident hall department. So
Right.
yep.
Kind of a lot of those things are decided on ahead of time.
Ahead of time,
eliminate
yep.
some of that friction. Yeah,
Yep.
for sure. Great question. Thanks for asking that question. Well, thank you guys so much again for joining me tonight. Really cool to hear their personal experience on campus and some more about their transition to college as well. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. And if you guys do have any questions, we'll be posting some of our information after in the comments, so you can contact us if you have any questions about applying, student clubs, organizations, or more about that transition.